We want to share with you some of our simple tips to keep your mind and body in top shape.
I lay all the ingredients out in the fridge the night before. I typically put berries and some spinach and yogurt. You really can't taste the spinach at all.
I love just searching up on YouTube Taylor Swift dance workouts
and I also just got roller skates.
Welcome to G Team TV. I'm Issa.
I'm Bella.
And I'm Genesis. What are we talking about today, girls?
Today's episode is all about taking care of ourselves and the planet, and how we as girls can take care of ourselves mentally and physically. And how do we expand that care to take care of the planet that we call home?
It's sort of like how on airplanes they tell you to put your own mask on first. There are so many issues I care about, especially climate change. By making sure that I'm at my best, both mentally and physically, I can give my best to the causes I love.
Great point, Bella. But before we dive in, it's time for an icebreaker. What's something you didn't expect to like when you first tried it, but now you love it? Mine's going to the gym. I was really intimidated at first, but now I love going.
I used to be really uncomfortable bike riding on some of the busier roads. Now I love riding all around town with my friends.
Mine would definitely have to be cooking. When I first started cooking, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but now I'm a full-blown master chef. What is something you thought you didn't like but now love? Comment on Instagram or suggest a topic for a future Q&A, and we might put you in a future episode of G Team TV.
And now it's time for another Catching Up with Girl Scouts. Last week, we told you all about Girl Scouts Change the World, an event featuring the 2020 National Gold Awards Girl Scouts and teaching girls, like you, how to change the world with Girl Scouts. What did you girls think?
I loved seeing all the different ways the Gold Award Girl Scouts projects made a difference. Each project was so unique.
I especially liked hearing from the breakout groups where we could hear more about each girl's project and how she did it. And I appreciate how there was also sessions for juniors and cadets as well.
If you missed Girl Scouts Change the World, don't worry. You could head over to Girl Scouts at Home and check out a recording of this amazing event. Or follow the link down below.
Next up, we have a special segment from 3 members of the G Team, Mary, Serena, and Mary Laura, all about how they take care of their minds and bodies. Take it away, girls.
Hi, I'm Mary.
I'm Mary Laura.
And I'm Serena. We decided to partner up today for a segment all about health. We want to share with you some of our simple tips to keep your mind and body in top shape.
First, we want to talk about something really, really important: sleep.
Yeah, sleep is so important because sleep gives your brain the energy it needs to function and help you have a really good day and do well in everything you try to do.
To have better sleep, you should really turn off all blue lights, like your phone or computer, 30 minutes before going to bed. Before I go to sleep, I turn off my phone, turn on some LED lights, and read for a while. Reading helps your eyes and brain relax before you go to sleep.
Next, we want to talk about hydration, which is so important to feeling good and keeping your body healthy. As you can see, we all have our water bottles here.
It can help you to set a goal for yourself for how much water you want to drink every day, but it's okay if you don't always hit that goal. The important part is trying. And your water bottles don't just have to be a burden, but they can be fun, and you can personalize and accessorize your water bottles.
Trick yourself into drinking more water by using a straw. You can sip on a straw while you're studying and really just drink most of your water without even thinking about it.
I get all of my hydration drinking out of a straw, a metal straw. Save the turtles.
Next, we want to talk about breakfast. Breakfast is something I know so many girls skip because they feel like if they can't have time to make a healthy breakfast, it's better just to skip breakfast. That's really not a great way to start your day. Some easy ways to make a healthy breakfast are instant oatmeal or a smoothie. Instant oatmeal I have before I go to morning practices, and I lay it out the night before and I put it in a reusable coffee cup. That way it's easy to take on the go and to wash when I get home. In the smoothie, I lay all the ingredients out in the fridge the night before. I typically put berries and some spinach and yogurt. You really can't taste the spinach at all. And then it's easy and it takes like 30 seconds to blend it, and you have a great breakfast to start your day.
I really should start doing that and stop eating Pop-Tarts every morning.
Yeah, that used to be me.
So we all know this too, but it is also just as important to move. I'm an athlete, I play water polo, but I also just love to find fun ways to get moving. I surf as a hobby. I'm not great yet, but it's just fun. And I also love to do dance workouts, as you can see. One of my favorite artists is Taylor Swift, and I love just searching up on YouTube Taylor Swift dance workouts, and a bunch of different workouts come up to her songs. And, honestly, it's a blast. It's a great way to get moving.
Yeah, I also love finding unique ways to exercise. I attend a firefighting training program, and I also just got roller skates. So I like to find really fun ways to exercise where I can trick my brain into thinking it's just fun.
Yeah, I totally agree with all of this. It is so much easier to motivate yourself to get out and get moving if you enjoy what you're doing. I swim competitively and I love it, but I also really love doing restorative yoga because it's a great way to relax your mind and your body and just let go of some of the stress and kind of have some alone time.
Next, we want to highlight preventative care. There are so many things that we can talk about here, from flossing to seeing your doctor, but one of the main things that we want to highlight is the importance of sunscreen. Making sure to incorporate it into your daily routine, especially on your face and arms, is so important because it has great long-lasting benefits and it keeps your skin nice and healthy. It is really important to use at least 30 SPF, and when you're applying it on your face, make sure to pat it in and not smear it all over, and that will make sure that your application is gentle.
Of course, right now we should all also be wearing our masks. As annoying as it is to wear, it really does protect you and your family and your community, so always wear a mask when you leave the house.
Finally, be prepared. My favorite bit of advice for just kind of keeping up with your health and not stressing about it is to do your future self a favor and do it now. If there's a task that you know you'll have to do, but it's small enough and easy enough that you can do it now, go ahead and do it. You'll thank yourself later and it'll be something you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, so we just gave you some great tips that can help you make it easy and fun to keep yourself healthy. The point is not to feel overwhelmed by these things, and being prepared is a great way to keep your mind healthy because doing things last minute just causes so much stress. What I do is if I have an early morning, I'll lay everything out on my nightstand from makeup to skincare to my shoes. And when I get up in the morning, all I have to do is go down the line and put everything on. This gives me time in the morning to relax and helps me de-stress before a long day. So we hope you enjoyed these tips on how to keep yourself healthy, mind,
Body,
and soul.
That was amazing. What great tips.
I know I'm going to be more conscious about putting on sunscreen. I always forget in the mornings. And I can't wait to try out Mary Laura's smoothie recipe.
Same. I can't believe how organized Mary is, and I'm going to definitely have to try her nightly routine. It would definitely help me sleep a little better, knowing I was ready for the morning.
Definitely. They say good mornings are made at night, and given how early school starts, I think we all need some good mornings.
Now that we've learned how to take care of ourselves, it's now time to learn how to take care of our Earth. We're all seeing the changes that is happening to our Earth due to climate change, and it's something our generation is taking very seriously. Our futures are at stake.
Our reporter Erin talked to Maddie G, a Girl Scout and climate activist, about why this topic is so important to her and how girls everywhere can make a difference. A little heads up, the video quality is a little choppy in places during the interview, but 2020, am I right? What we thought Maddie had to say was really important, so we still wanted to share with you.
Hi everyone, Erin again, and we're going to talk to a super cool Girl Scout today. Please welcome Maddie Graham. Maddie Graham is an 18-year-old high school senior with a passion for climate advocacy. She is co-founder and co-hub coordinator of her local Sunrise Hub, an organizer with Fridays for Future, and president of her school's Green Club. She spends as much as her time as possible organizing, scheming, and protesting for a better future for our generation and the next ones. And her work has been featured in the Washington Post and NPR. Thank you, Maddie, so much for joining us today. I'm so happy to have you here.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
Ah, this is just so cool. So could you just briefly define what climate advocacy is in case our viewers don't know?
So climate advocacy and climate activism is just pressuring your elected officials in any way you possibly can to make sure that they are voting and working for a better climate and a better environment for our generation and generations to come.
That is so cool. So what inspired you to go into climate advocacy? Like, what led you to doing all that amazing stuff?
So I like to joke that I tripped and fell and then suddenly I was leading organizations. I always loved being outside. You know, I'm a Girl Scout. I have been since kindergarten. I loved going camping. I loved climbing trees. I loved roasting marshmallows. I loved doing all of that. But it wasn't until my sophomore year of high school that I had a chemistry teacher that gave me the idea to make a video asking people to vote green. I am a film student. So I did that and it was really successful. And from then on, it just started snowballing and suddenly I was doing everything. And it really just it just made me feel like I was making a difference. It was something that I was passionate about in a way I had never been passionate about anything before. It was an incredible feeling. It was an exhilarating feeling. And I was so happy that I had found it.
Wow, that is so cool that you just stumbled into this passion of yours. So you mentioned that you were a Girl Scout and that kind of helped you onto this path. So what has Girl Scouts taught you that has helped you with your activism?
I think there were two main things that Girl Scouts really did that I've taken into my activism. The first was teaching me a love for the outdoors and a love for the environment and a love for my community around me. You know, I've always loved how community-centered Girl Scouts is. And the second is that working with a bunch of other women is really cool. Like that doesn't make, you know, I think a lot of times people are like, you know, groups of girls are like, you know, oh, they're gonna watch chick flicks or whatever. And it's like, no, that's absolutely not. I think it's really taken the stigma away from just working with a bunch of other women because women are awesome and climate activism is really hugely led by women. There's been a lot of talk about why that might be, but the fact is that it is led largely by women. And working with all these other women is an incredible opportunity that I'm really drawing from my Girl Scout experience.
Wow, I did not know that climate activism was so woman-based. That is so interesting. So have you met any of those women who just really inspired you to do more?
Yes. So I did actually speak beside Greta Thunberg when she came to DC. I live in DC, which was pretty awesome. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Rashida Tlaib, all of these women in Congress that are heroes of mine. I kind of feel like I have because we're walking the same streets, we're in the same buildings, we're talking to the same people. It's really empowering to know that you can walk into a Congress building anytime you want. Well, not now, but normally. So
with all of your work over the past few years, did you ever have a moment where you just wanted to give up? And what made you keep going and stick with it?
Almost a year ago, or more than a year ago now, we pulled off the biggest deep strike, the biggest strike for climate in history on September 20th. Global deep strike. It was huge. In DC, we turned out 11,000 people. That was a whole summer planning. I was a co-lead organizer in DC, so that took up my entire summer. I didn't get to do anything. I would climate strike on Fridays, and then all the other days I would have conference calls planning for this thing. And it was really exhausting, especially when school started. I was a junior then. Junior year is a killer. I was taking some really hard classes. So I remember sitting, I'm like, I'm failing calculus. This isn't working. I can't do it anymore. But what really kept me going was the girls that I was working with. And, you know, of course we had fights, you know, especially when we would decide, like, let's have a conference call at midnight to do this emergency thing. But what really kept me going was the community that we had established. It was all of the friends that I never would have met any other way. You know, we were from all parts of DC, all parts from the surrounding area around DC. And it was just so incredible. It was something I never would have had any other way. And to look beside you and realize that you're fighting alongside a group of girls who are just as passionate and just as amazing and just as formidable as you are, it's an indescribable feeling, really.
Wow, that is so inspiring. And I've gone to a few marches in the Portland area, and same thing. You're just with all these people and with all these girls that you can just relate to, even if you don't know them personally. You're all working towards a common goal. So, coming down to some of our last questions, I know that I had read somewhere that you and your friends would get stuff from thrift shops, and you would go and you would do these climate strikes like all dressed up. So, what inspired that?
It's fun. It's so much fun. So we do love thrifting. This dress is thrifted. I love thrifting things. But really, our work is difficult. It can be very saddening sometimes. It can feel as if the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But that doesn't mean there can't be joy in it. That doesn't mean there can't be fun. That doesn't mean we aren't still teenage girls. So when we go, thrift shops and we're like, we're going to dress up like this is a funeral. We're going to wear ball gowns. We're going to make hoop skirts out of plastic straws. That was an all-night experience. That was really fun. That, we're still fighting, but we're fighting within a community. We're fighting as friends rather than just as colleagues. And we're having fun while we do it.
Wow, that just sounds amazing that you've created this community with your friends and you've turned something that you're passionate about and you've stuck with it and still finding joy. Like that is what is so profound to me, is that that it is so like soul breaking and just beats you down, and you've still found a way to make it fun and enjoyable. Like that is truly amazing. So our last question that I have for you is, what advice do you have for girls who want to make change in their communities?
Well, I'd say what I wish someone had told me is that you are capable of so much more than you think you are capable of. I think it's really easy to get caught up in the self-doubt and I'm one person, I'm never going to be able to make change. Or maybe, you live somewhere where people are interested in making change, or your friends aren't interested. It can be difficult, especially when you feel like you're alone, but it only takes one person to light the spark that blows up and starts a movement. So I think it's really important to remember that you know your own heart, you know what's inside of you, and you are capable of anything that you want to do.
Such wise words from someone who is 18 years old. Maddie, I just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. I have enjoyed talking to you so much. You are so cool, and I am excited to see what you are going to do with your life. You are definitely a go-getter, and you completely embody the Girl Scout model. And I know that our listeners have just learned so much from you and your experience. So thank you for joining me and letting me ask you questions today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. It was great.
Maddie is so inspiring.
I know, it's so amazing what you can do while you're still in high school. It just goes to show that you don't have to wait to make a difference in the world. We can all get started right here, right now, where we are.
I'm so inspired to take care of myself and the planet now.
Me too. My favorite part was hearing from Maddie about how she's taking action for the planet. We all need to do our part.
Just think about how much more I can get done if I followed Mary's organization routine.
If you're feeling inspired too, tell us in the comments what you're going to do this week, either for yourself or for the earth. If we all do something small, we can make a huge impact.
That reminds me of today's quote from Sylvia Earle, an incredible oceanographer and environmental activist. She said, "Knowing is the key to caring, and with caring, there is hope that people will be motivated to take positive actions. They might not care even if they know, but they can't care if they're unaware." Hopefully, what you've learned today has given you a little more knowledge and maybe a bit more motivation to help you make a big impact.
Thank you so much to our guest this week, Maddie G, for your work on behalf of the climate. And to our segment leads, Mary, Serena, and Mary Lara. And to all of the girls who are making the show happen behind the scenes. And of course, all of you that are watching.
If you like this show, please watch next week. You can find a new episode on Girl Scouts IGTV every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, or catch up on the previous episodes on Girl Scouts YouTube.
You can also connect live with girls from all around the country to talk about this show. Look for a link to a council hangout in our Instagram stories or the YouTube show description.
And we'll see you next week on G Team TV. Peace out, Girl Scouts.